Hello, everyone. I want to personally welcome you to a very, very special episode. Ace and I are so happy to say that this is our 50th episode. Let's do a little round of applause. Half a century. Yeah, baby.
Woo!
50 episodes. Wow.
It's insane. I couldn't believe it. I'm playing hurt today. Banged my hand a little bit ago just to prove it.
Oh my gosh. Topical as always. Topical as always. Well, we have a pretty good
especially
show.
with the wild card.
Oh,
Go
well,
ahead, sorry.
You're not on the COVID list, so that's good. But just want to take a moment to just thank everybody. I think when we started, it was very, very, very rudimentary setup. I mean, we were working with, limited equipment, very, very limited knowledge. Still don't have a lot of knowledge, but, we're trying to pull it off like we know what we're doing. But we do want to thank everybody for listening, whether you started from episode 1 or you're just tagging in now. We're happy to have your ears as part of our weekly routine.
Yes, absolutely.
You're paying for Ace's rent right now, so
Ready to
for
hit
his
us with
new
the rundown?
Oh my gosh. Well, we do have some good action in the NFL to cover. So if you're not an NFL fan, this might be a little rough for you. But we're in the middle of the playoffs. Like, come on, what are you expecting to happen? And one of the best teams in the NFL is actually the favorite team, if you can't see my room, of one of the hosts. So yeah, we're going to talk about football and the Packers a little bit. But to give you an idea of what we got going on, random rant I'm going to start out with. Ace is going to basically show up all of the regional roundup because the only good things are happening are in Minnesota this week. Soundbite of the week, Ace cut up a delicious little soundbite from Bears owner McCaskey for his office press conference today, which painful if you're a Bears fan to hear the words. If you're not, if you're in the NFC North and you're not a Bears fan, well, you know what? It'll be juicy. Tee off topic, we're going to keep it nice and simple. Wildcard wrap-up and look ahead to the divisional round. Maybe a little bit further if we're feeling saucy. And then we'll wrap up with Ace's Quick Six. Yeah, so let's just get right into it, huh?
Plow through.
Let's do it. All right, random rant. This is something that I've been kind of going back and forth with. I've had Prime since college because back when you and I were in school, back like 14, 15, 17, 20 years ago, you got Amazon Prime for free with an EDU email address, correct?
Yep.
And then, you had it for a few years, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I can't live without this. So I've had Prime since.
Oh, go ahead.
So I've had Prime since. And now, I've been with the same person for a while. We're engaged. We split. We pay for everything pretty much equally and share everything, which is great. But sharing a Prime account, I did not realize how invasive it is. Like, I ordered something for her, and she's like, "Oh, hey, can you go pick up this thing?" How the hell do you know? Like, I order something for her, and she knows when it's delivered. And you can see my search history, you can see what's in my cart, my list, like everything. It's so invasive. And I think last time I added her to my household, I think I did it maybe October, and then come November, I'm start looking at stuff, and she makes a comment, and I'm like, out. No, you're not, no. And so like now it's like, okay, it's been a couple years now. You think that they would have some of those privacy channels available, because obviously she's signing in with her own account. Like, you add someone else's email to the household. So it's my account, my email, and then I add her as part of the household, a separate email. But yet when she logs into Amazon, it says, "Hello, John." Like,
and
no. And she can see all my shit. No, not okay. No, so that's been just infuriating because she helps pay for it. She uses it as much as I do, but it's like, if I ever want to get her something just for the hell of it or for Christmas,
you'll never.
No, so
no hiding it. That's for sure.
It's 2021. Amazon is one of the largest companies on the face of the planet.
Doesn't half the country have a Prime account? I'm pretty sure.
It's insane the amount of money. And the thing is, it's not even their retail service. It's not even that. Like AWS is like, hello. Like, why is this an issue? Why are we having problems with this? But I don't know. I don't have any. There's like no recourse. Like, that's just how it is. Like, there's no one's been able to explain. Like, I've asked numerous people, like, "Oh yeah, we can split the household." I'm like, no, you see everything that they have. So it's been a bitch, but that's where we're at.
One thing I'll say to wrap it up is up until 2 years ago, I still had a ex-girlfriend's address, shipping address, tied
Creepy.
to my account, which was sort of weird.
A little bit. A little bit. Wait,
But
which one? No, tell me after the show. Tell me after the show.
you see.
Oh my gosh. That is a great segue into the regional roundup where you do all the
Oh,
talking.
yeah. DC Twins, right? Twin Cities.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Should I start with the Dalvin snub? I know you had some comments for
I
me
would
on
like
that.
I would like it if you did. I would really like it
Okay.
if you did.
So Dalvin Cook, I think, oh gosh, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know one of the NFC leaders in multiple categories, rushing yards, attempts, all of this stuff. Great pass catcher, really has improved his pass catching, pass blocking, all of that. He got snubbed from the All Pro list, and it's kind of like, what else could he have done, sort of thing. I don't. He had a good marketing ploy with the chef's cooking sort of tagline, the T-shirts, the whole brand appeal there. You'd think that would gain some traction. No, I do, do you know, does All Pro, is that voted on by the fans, or I think that's the players.
No,
Either
it's
way,
definitely not fans. That's Pro Bowl.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so that's what even makes me more worried, or like surprised, is that you would think the players voting on this would, whatever.
Let's be
I'm a,
honest,
I'm
man.
a
It
little
was not a
frustrated
great year
about
for
that.
running backs in general. Like it was like
Yeah,
overall, it was not a good year for running backs in general.
yeah,
Um, Dalvin scored a lot, but you got to remember, and we talked about this. He scored like half of his stats in like 2 games. It's like as far as consistency, he had a lot of bad games.
well, he was, I
Um,
think, injured too, unfortunately,
yeah,
or
he
at
missed
least
he missed two and a
skipped a
half
few games,
games.
which doesn't help. So
Devontae Adams missed 3.5, and he still made it. So.
I was gonna say, I'm sure he did, but I mean, him and Rogers, that's a whole different.
So, Mike, we said before the show you were talking about you were going to look up the stats of, all the different running backs previously and just kind of compare their stats. But like, it's not the same league anymore, though. Like,
Yep.
you don't. It's very rare that you have one back and just one back. Like, look at the Ravens. Mark Ingram was out, and they ran the ball more than they normally do. Like, you
Hmm.
have like a stable. Like the Packers now. I mean, they're likely going to lose Jones, but like you still have like a stable of backs. Like
Yep.
obviously having one really great running back doesn't really work. Like Zeke, didn't look that great when the passing game was off. Derrick Henry obviously is, he is the anomaly. He's not. He's he's
And
the
I forget
outlier.
there's
But then you have, I mean, most of the teams are like Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley. If you only have one back and you're fully invested in that one back and they go out, sorry, you're not going to the playoffs. Like that's just it.
yeah.
So I
He would.
I don't think he was snubbed. I think it was just like a really bad year for running backs. Like
Yep.
I think he was second in the league, I believe, in rushing yards, and he only had 1,500, which is still really really good. But I mean, you're not beating out Derrick Henry, bro. Like it's just
Yeah, and I was confused at first too when I talked about the whole snub, because initially I'm thinking, okay, this is like this is like NBA, where they have three different tiers basically. They have the first team, second team. It's
yeah
not that.
yeah
So it's basically the starting lineup.
yeah. And there's only one
of a
running
team.
back, and well, I'm sorry, but like I said, you're not beating Derrick Henry. So.
No, no, unfortunately not. So
All right, what else we got?
that takes it away. That takes some of the fire away.
I know I'm
The
less excited
next
about it.
the next sort of, it kind of encompasses all national news, but with us being Twins and Brewers fans, MLB spring training and the regular season will start on time, according to my favorite MLB commissioner, Rob Manfred. So that's good news. And another kind of a sidestep to that, just real quickly, I don't know if you heard about this, but one of the best shortstops in the game, Francisco Lindor, got traded away from out of our division, the Central, AL Central, thankfully, got traded away from the Cleveland Indians to the New York Mets.
That was earlier this week.
Huge trade, tons of, and the thing with baseball is you never really, it's more prospects they're giving up, the Mets are, to get a marquee player. So it's not similar to other sports where you're really trading a marquee player for a marquee player, or draft
And
picks or
I mean,
stuff
they're not
like
even
that.
active players. They're literally prospects. Like, it's totally different from anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. So clearly the Mets like home run here. They needed some excitement on that roster. They already had Alonso manning the first base side, Pete Alonso, who's a hell of a young star. So and they got some talent there. I'm glad to see him get out of the AL Central though. That was kind of the big news that I wanted to share about him getting traded away. So how about you take it away with some of your
So, I honestly, I stumbled upon this because as much as I would love to be a fan of hockey, I can't. Like, if I will go to games. I've gone to Lightning games,
Same.
Hurricanes games. I've gone to, San Diego Gulls games. I've gone to Milwaukee Admirals games. My parents had season tickets. I went to probably 5 games a year at least on the glass by the penalty box. Like, I love going to games, but I can't get into it on the TV. I can't do it. Also, I don't understand the point system. I have no idea what that means. So, like, that as much as I would love to be into hockey, I was
It's
just
like
excited to
soccer.
see that the Gophers, the number 1 ranked team in the country for hockey, got booty blasted by the Wisconsin Badgers. And the Badgers, like the players after the fact, were even saying like, "Yeah, we kind of thought we might do this." Like, okay, like you're just like,
Oh my
oh
God, that
yeah,
would have
it was brutal.
been soundbite.
So
Soundbite.
no, I just told you. I'm the only person who said it. I was making it up. No, I'm just kidding. Um, but like, okay, so there's some other stuff that just happened while we were talking. I was
wow.
gonna I was
Okay.
gonna bring up a story about how Jared Valdir, who started for the Colts on Saturday, literally was off the team and got signed by the Packers earlier this week and was gonna start this week. Like, lost in the playoffs wild card, will still play divisional round for another team in another conference. He's on the COVID list. That doesn't matter. James
Oh
Harden
my God.
just got traded to the Nets. Yeah, kind of big deal. There's the
Wait, the
details.
Nets?
Yeah. So that means
Oh my.
Kyrie's probably gone. They don't have the details. They're just saying that the deal is done, and Kyrie's been kind of a little lady lately. So
I didn't even want to talk about those two because they're.
no. I'm just saying. There's other stuff literally happening while we're recording that I'm just kind of picking up on. Um,
Wow.
and
Oh my
then
gosh.
the Badgers last night got absolutely mollywopped. I mean, that game wasn't the only point it was
Basketball.
close. Yeah, sorry. It was only that game. Like, I wasn't expecting to win. I was expecting it to be competitive, like a
Yeah.
little
Yep.
competitive. I mean, I can't even remember like what the closest point we got. I mean, aside from tip off, we never tip
Yeah.
off in the first 4 minutes. I don't think after that, like, I knew that there was a gap in talent between the two teams, but I did not realize the discrepancy was that big. So that was
Yeah.
pretty brutal.
Michigan. I didn't either. I thought Michigan lost a fair amount of. Well, they probably
They,
recruit. Well,
yeah,
so.
I mean, they're kind of like they're like Ohio State with football. Like, they lose a lot of talent, but they'll get it right back. Like, you want to play basketball in the Big Ten, and if you do, you're probably playing for OSU or Michigan. It's
Yeah.
not like a Harbaugh
Indiana.
run program. Like, they're actually good at developing and getting talent every year. So, but
Mhm. Yeah,
wow.
that's true. I kind of thought Indiana maybe too at some point, but they kind of lost their luster too.
I
Um,
mean, I was pretty excited for that game, but I mean the Badgers played the way that they normally play, and like Trice was just a monster. Like, he's had a really good year, but I also felt like Davis and your boy Maple Grove, Minnesota, who I still hope to get on the show before the end of the year. Um, he's just had a rough time of it. It's just I don't know. I feel like the way that they're running their backcourt right now, it's just really confusing because like you're playing to Trice's talents, and like I get it, he's a very talented player, and you know what? When the game's on the line, you want the ball in his hand. Like,
mhm.
he's definitely the big scoring threat, but like, I don't know. I just feel like they're underutilizing their younger players, and Davison's just kind of the odd man out. And I mean, he's a senior too, so it's like that he's gonna want to get his minutes, and he's getting them for the most part. It's just the way the offense is running right now. I feel like they're not gonna not gonna do very well in the tournament at this rate if they don't figure that shit out. But
Yeah, the Gophers have gelled pretty well, but we got a bunch of transfers too. So I don't know, like, cohesiveness and like just building a culture, how long that's going to last, because these guys aren't going to be there next year either. So it's
so
kind of
that's another thing too that I don't think I've really talked about on the show. But Micah Potter came from Ohio State to Wisconsin, and he's really kind of come into his own. He's had a couple
Okay.
dominant games, but he's a really good complement, inside the paint. But it just feels like there's still something missing. Like you were talking about, like teamwork and cohesion. Like you have like individually talented players, but right now there's just it's hard to get that Rubik's Cube perfectly set so that the team kind of does what they're supposed to do. I mean, like I feel like the talent's there, but it's like you don't really have the scheme drawn up. And when you're playing a lesser team, it's hard to tell that the team isn't flowing just because, like there's been a couple games where they're just knocking down threes like crazy. And it's like, okay, well, if you just look at the box score, it's like, oh, this team's playing great. No wonder they're ranked top 10. And like you watch the game, it's like, well, they're not moving the ball that great. Well, they're turning the ball over a bit. Like, so... That's why are we talking about basketball? It's football time, bro. Come on.
I was gonna say, man, we lasted a while.
I know. I feel bad. We really don't talk about college basketball that much, so I felt like we'd oblige the non-football fans. But I think it's time for that soundbite you set up so graciously for us, huh?
Yay!
Yay! So as I mentioned, this is the front office, the Bears owner press conference. So let's take a listen.
I want to take a moment to tell Bears fans, we understand your frustration. We're frustrated too. And it would be a perfectly natural reaction to say, back up the truck, major overhaul, whatever you want to call it. After one particularly dispiriting loss this season, a season ticket holder sent me an email that read, fire somebody, we deserve better. I get it. You deserve your Bears being winners. The decisions we're announcing today may not be the easiest or most popular, but we believe they're the best decisions for the Bears.
So, I mean, that's like the most political answer ever. Like, we're not going to make any big decisions. But granted, I mean, the fact that he did this early, I don't know if it's like damage control. Like, some shit's going to go down, right? Like, Pagano retired already. You've got shit going on. You got things in motion, but at the same time, it's like, NFL season's still going on. You don't have to commit to anything. You're not committing to a quarterback. You're not committing to Nagy. I know the coordinator on the other side that's still around has also been a hot topic. But it's like you got to blame somebody.
Pagano?
No, Pagano is defense. You got a lot of blame and finger pointing. I mean, the fact that he said that I had one owner, I'm like, okay. Or you had one season ticket, I'm like, okay, bro. Like, I've seen videos of Bears fans burning their shit that they're just so pedestrian.
Oh, yeah, and if you look through the comment section, it's insane. It's all
I'm
dislikes.
Sure. Well,
it's crazy. No positive comment whatsoever.
That's part of the reason why I got rid of Facebook on my phone, because it's just like I have enough negativity going on in my own life. I don't need other people's like deranged comments. Although I will say though, it is great toilet material. It is fantastic literature. It's very entertaining, but you realize like how deranged some people are and how like misguided. It's like if you are that enveloped into a sport that you're gonna like threaten people's lives, like pump the brakes, homie. Like chill out. So I can't really say I envy that man. I mean, but I've had people say that they refuse to root for the Bears until McCaskey sells the team, until they're no longer.
Wow. Yeah, it was awkward because later on, so both him and the president CEO gave like opening statements, and then they had the PR, the press staff, or the Chicago staff on board to ask questions, to interview. That was awkward as hell. I'm gonna try to cut up some. Like you could tell that people were eager to like just. There was a few guys that you could tell their questions were definitely loaded with like animosity.
Oh, sure.
And it was kind of funny.
I mean, I guess it's kind of, I can't say really compare them to the Lions. At least the Bears have had some postseason success in recent years, but I mean, I don't know. Like this is like, I think this should be a good topic for the next show, where it's like, would you rather have a team that's like constantly bad, so you never have like higher expectations, or would you rather have a team that has high expectations, but they just can't live up to them? Green Bay. Like,
that's a great topic for
we'll make that the tee-off topic next week, okay? We'll talk about that, but like that's something I've been battling with for a while, because it's like, like Cleveland Browns fans, like we're starting the tee-off topic. Cleveland Browns, big win, first playoff win since Aaron could even read. Like, this has been a huge day that they've been waiting
for. Early
for.
2000s. I could read before then.
2002. Kelly Holcomb was the quarterback. 2002, man. So this is like
against
a
those
huge,
same
huge
Steelers.
against the Steelers. Correct. I remember watching that game. I was rooting for Browntown. Didn't work out so well. They did not play well at all. It was a horrible game. But I mean, you have franchises like the Browns that like they literally went 0-16. The Lions also went 0-16. You had Hugh
Jets.
Jackson win what? I think he won one game in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like you have
Yeah.
had this history, like extended history since '99 when the team got reformed, that they've just been so bad. Would you rather have expectations so low that if you make the playoffs, you're just giddy, or would you rather have a team that makes the playoffs every year but they just can't get it cut? They get up to like a championship level and then they just can't pull it out. Like that's just. We'll save that for next week. We could make a whole episode about that.
Absolutely.
But you know, the Steelers, I know that they kind of backpedaled into the playoffs. You know, you start out 11-0, you have all these expectations in the world, and everyone all of a sudden everyone starts doubting them. The Bengals game, Washington football team, like
yeah, yep.
You know, barely being able to, you know,
they were one-dimensional.
And
no
Roethlisberger had the most ridiculous stats I've ever seen. For like 500 yards, like four touchdowns, and like 5 turnovers.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like 4. It was 4
picks, and then technically that fumble, the first play of the game, that was a fumble on him technically. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there, a lot to get out and talk about, but. I mean, the nice thing is that we have, you know, the whole offseason to talk about that kind of crap. But now, you know, we got the Ravens moving on. You got the Bills who look unstoppable. That was a good game. It was a really good weekend of football. We had the Nickelodeon cast, which I gave it a half. I don't know how much you watched. I watched one full half of it.
Same. I got about the same, actually.
I was like, you know what? Like, it was a little cringy, but you remember, we're not the target audience. So it wasn't meant for us. I thought a lot of people are kind of hating on Nate Burleson. I thought he legitimized it.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and then I think Ian Eagle, the play-by-play guy, he was very good. The girl was kind of awkward and seemed a little forced, but she also had some good enthusiasm. But I just feel bad, like, you know, if kids are just warming up to the NFL and they had to watch the Bears, that is not how you want to start it, man. That is not a good start to the relationship.
Yeah, they played. So it was the Nickelodeon game was the late one on Saturday, Saints versus Bears. Or was it?
No, it was the afternoon. It was afternoon. The kids would be sleeping, buddy. Come on, bedtime.
Touche. Good
point.
So
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I like that they're trying something new. I'm glad that they did it, but.
I did too. I thought it was impressive. And then Sunday you had, I was surprised that Seahawks sort of, I mean, I know that the Rams defense, which the Packers play coming up this weekend, is very stout, but it's like, it's a divisional opponent. The fact that you can't.
They couldn't do anything. It didn't even look like Russell Wilson back there.
Yeah.
It definitely looked like Pete Carroll was pissed off on the sideline, smacking his lips with the gum, but like. It was hard. It was hard to like distinguish them because like you remember like they were on this trajectory like the first quarter of the season like oh my gosh like give Russell Wilson the MVP and then all of a sudden stock just plummeted after a couple of really rough games and then all of a sudden you're here. It's crazy. Tampa looks really good. I'm kind of hoping that the Saints lose so that we have Rodgers, Brady NFC Championship for the Super Bowl berth. I mean. It doesn't get much. Plus, like I said, it kind of fills out that redemption arc after we got absolutely crushed by them in Tampa.
Do you think that's what most of the people want? That matchup right there, Brady versus Rodgers?
I don't know because either way, I mean, like you're playing Tampa Bay or you're playing. So either way, you have Hall of Fame quarterback matchup. You're playing the Drew Brees in one, maybe possibly his last game ever, or you're playing Tom Brady, who's in that championship game again, but now for a different conference. So. Like, either way, like, it's going to be a good storyline. Who would I rather them play? I mean, we got to get past the Rams first. And that defense is absolutely terrifying. Donald's healthy. Kupp's dealing with bursitis, which, I mean, he'll still play. But the Goff, I mean, they haven't...
Cup?
Huh? Yeah.
Cooper Kupp?
Yep.
Okay.
What do you think? Beer Cup?
I thought it was COVID, but whatever.
COVID Cup?
Yeah. COVID Cup, yeah.
So they have a couple big injuries, but, like, they're still going to play. Goff... He's all jacked up, but he still was able to manage the game. He doesn't have a great arm to begin with, but you know he's still able to get the ball down the field. So,
Yeah, that'll be the difference in the game.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm hoping that it'll be a pretty convincing win, and mostly hoping that nobody gets hurt. Also, I did not mention this, but Snacks Harrison was finally signed by Green Bay. I know that people were going crazy about getting him in the offseason and all that kind of stuff. As soon as he got released, I know that there was rumors out there, but he was officially signed. I mean, in theory, it sounded great because you have both sides. It's like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we got an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman. Let's do this, you know?
Yep.
But obviously, as I mentioned, Valdir will not be playing. So, it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that not only do they win, but I kind of want to play Tampa Bay. Battle of the Bays. Tom Brady. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
in Lambeau, like, end the year, like, come on. That's it right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Agreed.
So, unfortunately, we are out of time. We do not have time for Ace's Quick Six. He can put it up on the old tweeter, though, because he's a great man.
Yes, sir.
I apologize. We have run out of time tonight. But, again, thanks, everybody. It's been a good 50 episodes. We're hoping to do a lot more. We've mentioned this a few times now, but the website is looking purty. It's looking very nice.
Ooh, we put in some work.
Mm-hmm. We did. It looks very nice. But we'll wrap it up for you guys here. If you're not already, give us a follow on Twitter at AA Podcast. Check us out wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, whatever platform you prefer, and also on YouTube. No matter what, we will be there. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We are out.